reduce the degree of wealth inequality. But more importantly, people need to be aware what jobs are going to stick around, which jobs will be displaced, and which jobs might be new. We can actually make a pretty accurate projection, even right now, for the next 5 years or even longer. We know auto mechanic jobs are going to be changing and the old types are going to be diminishing. Plumbers are going to be okay for a while, but eventually they'll be gone. But in the long term, because our plumbing is different house to house. And healthcare services, we're going to be in a shortage of that because people will live longer with a larger population that is more well off. And people don't want robots to take care of them. So we have a reasonable map of which jobs are going to get displaced. And I think it would be irresponsible if we don't let people know and redesign vocational training and make sure that people who are being displaced are getting the training into a job for which they're interested and qualified, and that doesn't get destroyed again. So the story in Job Savior is about a company, which is in a new category of companies called job reallocation. They're brought in when there are layoffs, and they're paid by the government to help people find a new job. And then it proceeds to find interesting ways to give people effectively practical training because routine jobs becomes rarer and rarer as AI will take them over. And most jobs will require more training. So it really finds a very clever way to get people into practical training. On the plenitude idea, the next step after jobs are automated is that the energy costs will also go down. The cost of distributed storable solar energy has come down by about 85% in the last 10 years. And if that continues for another 20, the cost of energy will be a tiny fraction of what it is. And the cost of making goods, whether it is our electronics or clothing or even food, will all come down because they can all be manufactured. And as they're manufactured, there are three types of costs: materials, energy, and labor in increasing order of magnitude. And labor will come down dramatically, energy will come down significantly, and materials will also come down. And that means for the first time in 20 years or so, we as the human race will be able to afford to essentially wipe out poverty and hunger. Whether we do so or not with the national boundaries and selfishness and greed is another question. So the last story, Dreaming of Plenitude, talks about a country, Australia in this case, that has realized that it definitely has the capability of wiping out poverty and hunger. But at the same time, the economic models need to change and people's motivations need to change. So it tries different policies. And then we get to watch certain people who are doing jobs that wouldn't be considered jobs today, but because they don't introduce as much economic value, but they do have a lot of social value, and that they don't necessarily earn money, but they earn some other token that gives them a sense of accomplishment and pursuit and even self-actualization.